Welcome to another video. This time without an external mic because I forgot it again, but we want to do a comparison between the OnePlus 13 and the iPhone 16 Pro, so let's get started. A gloomy, a bit of rainy Sunday morning here in Wesel, Germany, and we want to try out the OnePlus 13 against the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And I'm walking with Timmy again, as you see there in the background. And we have a triple lens setup on both, triple 50 megapixels on the OnePlus, and we have, I think it's a 48 megapixel main camera sensor and another 48 megapixel ultra wide angle and a 12 megapixel telezoom there on the iPhone 16 Pro. Both roughly 3x there, and this is I think a good comparison between those two. And then we have 32 megapixels, and it is I think 12 megapixels I think on the iPhone with the front-facing video camera, front-facing camera, and video is coming now. The front-facing camera here on the OnePlus 13 can record 4K 30 and 4K 60 frames per second, which is quite cool. You don't see much of HDR, but you can maybe evaluate the stabilization and the colors here on the OnePlus 13. Also the audio quality, because I forgot my mic, so I'm using the internal mic. So what do you think about the quality here of the OnePlus 13? And now the front-facing camera of the iPhone 16 Pro. On screen it looks less stabilized, but we know Apple already, they have this neat trick of not showing you the stabilization after they applied it. It is looking very, very good. And this is 4K 30 frames per second, but you can go up to 4K 60 frames per second. And this one also features autofocus. So if I'm holding Timmy's leash in here, or my hand, you will see that it is focusing on it. So it has autofocus, which is I think quite a good thing here. So what do you think about this here? Also the angle of view, the colors, and yeah, HDR you don't see much because it's a grayish kind of world today. So what do you think about this one here? Also internal mics. Now recording 4K 30 frames per second on the main camera of the OnePlus 13 using the internal mic. It has, I think, what looks to be a rear microphone there, so maybe optimizing for my voice here. 4K 30, 4K 60, but also 8K 30 are possible. I don't know if 4K 120 frames are possible, I didn't see it yet. But this is what you have here on the OnePlus 13. Of course, we can also switch to the ultra-wide angle during recording at 4K 30 or 60. And this is the ultra-wide angle. It's a weaker kind of sensor. It's not so wide, I would say, but 40mm is still okay. And it's a bit darker here, for sure, in this morning hour here. This one is a smaller kind of sensor. We want to try to zoom in on something. We want to zoom in on this bird there, which is probably an eagle there with 3x zoom. Let's go. 3x zoom, the optical zoom on the OnePlus 13, and we can go also to 6x there, and I can zoom up to 18x, but you can see, yeah, it took a while for getting sharp there. Again, you can see the letters there on this bird, so I think it's an eagle. FWR. Yeah, this is the OnePlus 13. Okay, now I'm recording with the iPhone 16 Pro. This is like one of the best video cameras on the market, especially when it comes to the main camera sensor here. 4K 30, 4K 60 frames per second are possible, but there's no 8K recording on the iPhones yet. What do you think about the stabilization and colors here? And of course, 4K 30 or 4K 60, I can switch between lenses there. So let's go and tap of a button, and we have the ultra wide angle. Is this wider than the one on the OnePlus 13? Is it getting darker as well, just like the one I think on the OnePlus 13 did? What do you think about the quality here? Do we have some noise and grain going on? And what do you think about this one here? And we go to the same spot and try to zoom in. We have actually a 5x lens there, not a 3x. I was wrong in the beginning there, so I can switch to 5x directly there. And then I can zoom in a bit further, up to 15 times, and you still can read the FWR there. And what do you think about the clarity here? I think you get a bit closer with the OnePlus, but is it clearer? Timmy stabilization test, is it clearer? What do you think about this one here?
Front-facing camera video comparison, so which one do you think is working better? I think the HDR is a bit stronger on the iPhone 16 Pro. You can see at 4K there's a bit of blue there in the sky, and the OnePlus 13 has, I think, the better colors because it's again a bit too yellowish, too warm on the iPhone 16 Pro. and the colors are a bit better on the OnePlus 13. However, the iPhone is a bit sharper for sure on the front-facing camera. Both struggle a bit with the stabilization, but I think the iPhone is doing a little bit better there than the OnePlus 13. However, yeah, it's both are pretty good there, but I think the win is slightly for the iPhone 16 Pro when it comes to the front-facing video. So the main camera video footage, this is getting a bit ridiculous on the iPhone with this yellowing up everything here on this video, because it looks like it could be a sunny day as well with the yellow on my face and the yellow here in the background. But the OnePlus is more natural in terms of the colors. However, the sharpened more up look is on the iPhone 16 Pro, so my face is way sharper there, also a bit more contrasty than the OnePlus 13. OnePlus 13 looks a bit more dull, but this is more real there what they did. It's a bit of more pronounced HDR effect here going on the OnePlus 13, so you can see the blue in the sky there, where here is a bit overblown there. And when we go and switch to the ultra wide angle, the iPhone is definitely wider than the OnePlus 13 a little bit. But what even though it doesn't look like this, it's just like in a different position there. But we can see already there's like strong vignetting, not vignetting, it's a strong like sharpness decrease on the sides here on the iPhone. Look at the bench, look at the trees there on the same side there. It's a bit here as well on the OnePlus 13. Maybe I can go on the OnePlus 13 a bit further away. Can go a bit back. Yeah, there you can see it's also like a little bit, but it's not as soft as on the iPhone 16 Pro. So the iPhone 16 Pro has a worse lens there. In terms of sharpness, I think it's getting a little bit softer there on the OnePlus 13, but the iPhone is also quite soft there. So I think the ultra wide angle is actually a win for the OnePlus 13 for the video here. However, where the iPhone is coming back is then definitely the zoom switch. So you can see here the let me mute this, the zoom switch there. Super smooth zoom to 5x. You almost don't notice the difference. There's a slight brightness increase there, but it's super sharp. And now the OnePlus 13, let's check this out here. When we, after I walked a little bit there and talked a little bit, there we go. And then let's go to the 3x. You can see it's also super smooth there, without any notice much of a lens switch there, and it doesn't have even this brightness switch that the iPhone has there, which is slightly getting brighter. You can see it here on the iPhone again, there, and then see it got a little bit brighter there. We don't have this on the OnePlus 13, which is quite interesting. Let's go back there. Here it looks like a normal zoom on the OnePlus 13. This is what I really like on the new ColorOS and OnePlus 13. I think they did a very tremendous job there. Yeah, of course, the iPhone 16, especially when you zoom in a bit further, has way more details than the OnePlus 13 there, that's for sure. So the zoom range wins there. And the iPhone 16 Pro also, when it comes to the main camera sensor, when we like go to the straight beginning there, main camera sensor, it's way too yellowish for sure, but also offering a little bit more bokeh. There we go. You can see it's a little bit more bokeh. Let's take a look at this one here. It's not too sharp. I have a bit of the HDR effect going on in my hair, you can see. It's not too sharp. It's a bit softer there. Here it's way sharper there. It doesn't have this HDR effect. Way sharper there for sure, but not over sharpened look. And it's a bit more bokeh there. So I think the main camera sensor is still a win for the iPhone 16 Pro for that matter. But everything else is basically on par, where I would even say the OnePlus 13 in terms of ultra wide angle wins against the iPhone 16 Pro for video. And even the zoom smoothness is, I think, on par there with the OnePlus 13 and the iPhone 16 Pro. So I think in total, I think I have to give the OnePlus 13 the same points as the iPhone 16 Pro in video. And I cannot imagine telling you this, but yeah, maybe I decide otherwise, but we have to see this in the conclusion then. The photos on the left always on OnePlus 13, on the right always the iPhone 16 Pro. We first start off with the main camera sensor, 23mm, and you can see how much brighter the iPhone 16 Pro looks like. The OnePlus 13 here looks much darker, much more contrasty, and it looks like the day was like a little bit more gloomy, a little bit darker. It's a typical winter day with a bit of wet going on. There was a bit of rainy, a little bit of water falling down there as well. And the iPhone 16 Pro could have been also in spring because it's so bright from the green grass there. And when it comes to detail levels, let's go in. The iPhone has the advantage of 24 megapixels mode that I have enabled there. So we have 24.5 megapixels here. And we have almost the same settings there. You can see 23mm f1.6 and 1/180 second. You can see it ISO 320 here as well, and roughly the same kind of shutter speed, a little bit of less ISO on the iPhone there. We have a slightly larger sensor on the iPhone, 1/1.28 instead of 1/1.4 like on the OnePlus 13. So there's a difference. When we zoom in, even if I go in a bit further, you can see, yes, the iPhone has a bit more detail there. Or we can also do it the other way around, like go one step out there, and you can see, yes, the iPhone seems to be a little bit more detailed there, a bit more contrasty look for sure on the OnePlus 13. And when you see the details there, however, not much of a difference there. It's just like a bit more contrasty, a bit darker on the OnePlus in comparison to the iPhone. That's all basically there is to it, to the main camera sensor. Now let's go back to this is 120 times on the iPhone, which is 5 times zoom, 146, which is 6 times zoom on the OnePlus 13, which is a zoom button there. So let's try to zoom in, see the details there. And here it's interesting, we have a bit more crop there, we have a bit more contrast there. We have a little bit more brightened up shadows and dark and black colors there on the iPhone 16 Pro for sure. So we can see a bit more of details there as well, but it's a bit of more noisy as well on the iPhone there when it comes to this one. When it goes to down here, you can see that the both are a little bit less sharp there, and in terms of detail levels and so on, the iPhone is giving us a little bit more details, though with a little bit more noise as well. But it's pretty close, and I'm pretty interested to see how they cope further. Ultra wide angle, quite interesting, because 15mm on the OnePlus 13 and we have 40mm on the iPhone 16 Pro. You can see again this warmth of the iPhone 16. I'm not sure why the default profile makes everything look so warm. Of course, you can change it the way you like it, but let's be honest, we just take our phones out and take the snap, and if the default is not what you want, you have to edit it later in post in terms of colors. But yeah, the contrasty look is a little bit better on the OnePlus 13. I like the colors better on the OnePlus for sure. In terms of detail levels, the iPhone camera is super notoriously bad, and the OnePlus 13 is a bit better there in terms of sharpness and details. You can see it here. It's not looking good. It's very noisy on the iPhone, and it's less sharp, and all the details here on the roof, for example, there, it's way better on the OnePlus 13 than on the iPhone. Then Timmy here, portrait shot there of him with both of them. And for some reason, in portrait, the size, or not the size, the Hasselblad branding goes away there. And you can compare the data here, 48 megapixels, 48mm, 48mm, f4.5, f1.8. So yeah, it's a bit of noisier. It's a bit softer here on the iPhone. Not really too much to compare. Then we have 48 millimeter here on both, so 2x zoom. Which one is performing better here? Again, the iPhone colors are wrong. Don't like it so much. Detail levels here, pretty comparable, I would say. So not much of a difference there between those two when they both have 12 megapixels. You can see that the iPhone has a little bit more detail there, like the little scuffs there that gets smoothened out on the OnePlus. But the OnePlus has a bit more contrast. It helps there with a bit more details here down below. And also here, let's see, both, I think, almost identical. Maybe with the contrast, it looks a bit more detailed there on OnePlus 13, but they're very, very identical when it comes to the 2x shot. Then a selfie. The iPhone is a bit closer up with 30mm, where 21mm is a bit wider on the OnePlus 13. In terms of colors and details there, I think they are very comparable. It's just the iPhone again with the warmish yellowish colors, which I don't like. I prefer the colors on the OnePlus 13 there for sure. And way more background blur on the iPhone 16 Pro. Cut out there with my hair. It's doing a good job. Some issues there. Here I think the OnePlus maybe even a little bit better there with the hair, because you can see this like weird kind of stripes that the iPhone produces there, which are not there on the OnePlus. So yeah, also the color of my jacket way more natural on the OnePlus than this warmish kind of almost yellowish looking iPhone 16 Pro. Yeah, OnePlus I like more there for the selfies. Ultra wide angle here, 50mm against the 14mm. Again, that's way too yellow on the iPhone. Let's take a look at the detail levels. It's horrible, way better there. Also towards the side there, very noisy. Softer here as well, but it's not as bad as on the iPhone. So yes, the iPhone doesn't look good on the ultra wide angle, so win for the OnePlus. Zoom, quite interesting. Again, the 6 times versus 5 times. So what can we read there? And yeah, it's quite interesting because we show how the iPhone 16 Pro is handling such things. Not so much post-processing, leaves the noise in, where the OnePlus 13 has definitely reconstruction of text, as you can see here clearly, like it's looked like copy-pasted in there. And noise reduced there, so you can choose your poison there, but I would say well, maybe a slight edge to the OnePlus. I'm not sure which one would be better here in my opinion. You can be the judge there. In terms of colors, it's definitely the OnePlus. The more we zoom in, the more it becomes apparent. So this is now 544 versus 486 millimeters. And you can see the ISO is slightly lower on the iPhone. It's way noisier there. So the more that you zoom in, the more this very interesting. You can read everything nicely here, and it cleans everything up on the OnePlus. Shows the advantage of the very good rendering engine that the OnePlus has there. So the more you zoom in, actually, I would say the OnePlus is winning there when it comes to reconstruction of text and details with its AI, what the iPhone simply cannot do. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. I think OnePlus is better in terms of zoom than the iPhone, which is like saying a lot already when it comes to this. Close-up shots, the iPhone can get a bit closer with its ultra-wide angle. The OnePlus can resort to its 3x zoom there, and the detail level is quite good. It has a shallow depth of field because of the 3x zoom, but the iPhone also. So yeah, detail levels are basically on par for the macro shots, I would say. Nighttime shots, interesting. I don't have a dedicated nighttime video here, so I had taken some nighttime shots here. Quite interesting. The iPhone is brightening the scene up way more than it actually looked like because the OnePlus 13 is more realistic there. But the detail levels here at the main camera sensor, is it the main? Yes, the main camera sensor. I think there the iPhone's larger sensor is giving us a little bit of better performance, but it's just a minor better in performance. It's just like brightening things up here. Slightly the details on this tower are a bit better, but this is on par. Main camera sensor basically on par. When we zoom in, however, 3x zoom versus a 5x zoom, there you can see, I think the OnePlus is not even utilizing the 3x zoom here at this point. It's just cropping in from the main sensor. So keep that in mind. You can see way more details on the iPhone. And when I go to 6x, however, then it is using the, I hope it is using the 3x zoom. I'm not sure. Maybe it's cropping in. It just looks horrible. And there it's a clear win for the iPhone for sure at nighttime. And this is this is like 3x zoom on the iPhone versus 3x zoom on the OnePlus. You can see this looks both horrible and both unusable, I would say, almost. And then we have the ultra wide angle, both not very good. Here we had like, I think a misfiring on the OnePlus. Everything is a little unsharp. Here we have like everything sharp in a way, but very, very noisy on the iPhone. And selfie. This is the iPhone, this is the OnePlus. I think the OnePlus has less noise, it's a bit sharper there, so selfie I would even give to the OnePlus there, even though the iPhone 16 Pro has a good selfie camera. But at this time in the day it just failed, and yeah, this dim lit situation there where the sun is like going up in a few minutes or setting, I don't know. So I think it's going up. You can see here this shot with the 2x zoom, it's less noisy than the iPhone. Again, processing is a bit better there. In terms of detail levels and so on, it's very noisy here, it's very dark here. On par. Not much that you can change between them. Then we have 6 times versus 5 times to see which one is better. And here I think, again, it's very noisy on the iPhone. It's very close, very close. I have to say it's less noisy because we have artificial processing going on. Let's say it on par. Let's say it's on par. And then one selfie here in the dark. just to see again with a little bit of light going on there, where you can see that the iPhone has a little bit more detail there for sure as well. So in the end, I think I can say that the selfie in general on the OnePlus is like a little bit better than the iPhone, and the ultra wide angle here in this case is way better on the OnePlus than on the iPhone. And portrait shots as well here, 2x portrait versus 2x portrait, which one would like more? I like that this left side of my face is a little bit brightened up on the OnePlus, where on the iPhone it's a bit too dark, maybe. Too bit of bluish. You can decide, you can choose your poison. They're pretty much the same. Not much of a difference there. A bit more detail in the hair, however, which is like a bit softened there. And I think the colors are, maybe it's going a bit too much greenish there, where this is going a bit too yellowish there, which is quite interesting. And then we have 3x selfie, and we have 5x selfie. So the dedicated 3x selfie is giving you way more detail there. Even more like sharpened up and more details than on the iPhone 16 Pro 6x, 5x actually. And then that's all. I cannot do 6x apparently here on the OnePlus, but yeah, when we go in here, zoom out like a little bit, then we get roughly the same, and it's a bit sharper on the OnePlus 13. But I would say in terms of detail level and so on, it's maybe a bit too over sharpened on the OnePlus that I really don't like so much there. So the iPhone I prefer there for the portraits when it comes to the 5x portraits, for sure, against the 3x portraits of the OnePlus. But yeah, I think the range on the OnePlus is, I think, maybe a little bit better there as well. So what are your opinions? Write it down in the comment section. For me, I think the main camera sensor is on par. Slight advantage to the iPhone 16 Pro, but in general, not so much that I would give it like something completely different. And what I'm clear with is also the ultra wide angle is a win for the OnePlus 13. Selfie, hard to tell, because you saw it like when there's a bit light involved in the selfie camera, then I think that here they are on par, and they're not on par anymore. Here I think the iPhone is winning, where this OnePlus 13 is a bit losing. But in the daylight shots I think the OnePlus 13 was doing better. So maybe in general I'll give it on par kind of rating there. The iPhone of course has autofocus support, which is like nicer. This one has a wider angle field. I think maybe it's on par. It's a really hard choice. I will explain to you later now in my conclusion and ranking. So let's just jump into it. Conclusion and ranking. TLDR, the Apple iPhone 16 Pro gets 4.435 points, where the OnePlus 13 gets 4.460 points. So yes, the winner is the OnePlus 13. Let's take a look in more detail. First of all, main camera photo quality. As you saw it, this is basically the same. Sometimes the colors are a bit better on the OnePlus 13, sometimes a bit better on the iPhone, but I don't want to put so much effort and detail into the colors there. If they're not completely off or you cannot fix it in post, I think they're both fine. Especially Apple has like this mode where you can change a lot of stuff there still in terms of profiles or styling. Now with the iPhone 16 Pro, I think it's okay. In terms of detail level, I think they are on par there. Where the OnePlus 13 definitely wins is the ultra wide angle, because here it's way better than the iPhone. I'm not sure what the Apple is doing there, because Apple had, I think, a better ultra wide angle camera on the iPhone 15 series, or iPhone 15 Pro series. Now it's a downgrade with the 48 megapixel for sure, and the OnePlus 13 is definitely better here. Zoom camera photo quality is on par here. This is quite interesting. Why is it on par? First of all, because the OnePlus 13 has a good 3x zoom, where the iPhone fails completely at 3x, and 3x is more useful for portrait shots, I would say, than 5x. But even if you shoot 5x shots, with the 6x shooting option that you have on the OnePlus 13, you can even then still get away with relatively good shots there. Of course, in the longer zoom ranges, I think the 5x optical zoom is working for Apple better, but the processing on OnePlus is a lot better if you zoom 10 times and more. Where the iPhone is very, very noisy there and has less processing, the OnePlus 13 comes back with a better processing for sure. And the only downside is you have to activate this for night photography explicitly on the OnePlus 13 in night mode. Otherwise, it might crop in just from the main sensor, and then it looks way worse than on the iPhone 16 Pro. Video recording quality, I think the iPhone still has a lead there, especially switching between lenses is a bit smoother still, just a tiny bit smoother than what the OnePlus 13 has to offer there. OnePlus 13 is, however, very good with the recording of the selfie, of the front-facing camera, even better than the iPhone 16 Pro for that matter, especially in dim-lit, low-light situations. It is working much better than on the iPhone. Switching lenses is smooth, but sometimes you see it jumping a little bit here and there, and especially the longer zoom ranges, it's getting quite a bit noisy. The iPhone is also not perfect, especially in this dim-lit situations, but still I think manages to outperform the OnePlus 13 by a little bit. Autofocus performance is both basically the same. Front-facing camera is something where you can argue a little bit back and forth. I think they're on par in the end. You can say the iPhone 16 Pro is a bit better when it comes to autofocus, because it has autofocus where the OnePlus 13 is missing it. But for day-to-day shots, especially also indoor shots and so on, you will see that, yes, a bit slightly over-processed look on the OnePlus 13, but I think it manages to be equally good as the iPhone 16 Pro in the various different scenarios, and also consistent when it comes to those scenarios, which is I think quite interesting there. Camera UI, both are not fantastic. Both miss a pro video feature, for example, or in the case of the iPhone, also a pro photo shooting mode there. I think the OnePlus is doing much better there. It has more extra features as well in the camera application, where you can have like a new landscape mode, I think they have added, or something like this. They have tons and tons of cool features. The master mode, portrait mode, is I think the one that I like. Not portrait mode, the master mode, the Hasselblad master mode with the pro mode is quite good, but also the normal, the automatic one is quite good. You can set the sharpness level, the contrast, the saturation, and vignetting even if you want to, and it's not looking over processed at all. And this is I think one of the highlights. And they have the X-Pan mode as well, and tilt shift mode, which is quite nice. So these are some extra features that we only have on the OnePlus 13. Where does it leave us when it comes to the ranking overall? So you see that the ranking list has been updated, and especially those people who saw the members who saw the earlier version of the video were like scratching their heads. Yes, the newer version has a new conclusion here, because we have the Vivo X100 Ultra still on top, but now with the main camera photo quality at 4.9 points. I had to raise the points for the 1-inch type sensors, because in overall, when I rechecked all my photos between those and the newer 1/1.3 or 1/1.4 inch size sensors, then even 1/1.5 inch size sensors, they were a little bit lackluster in comparison to those. So I raised the points there. So for the 1-inch type sensors, this is why we have this ranking now. Still the Vivo X100 Ultra on number 1, number 2 the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, number 3 the Magic 6 RSR, and together with the Puro 70 Ultra, then the Vivo X100 Pro, the Oppo Find X6 Pro, and then the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Actually, the 14 Ultra should get 4.9 points here, so I have to correct this as well. Maybe it gets one higher spot there, but then the Xiaomi 15 Pro, and then followed up by the OnePlus 13. As you can see here, the OnePlus 13 climbed up a little bit in terms of ranks there because of the improvement in terms of videography. Especially the front-facing video has improved dramatically, but also the zoom switching and stability has improved a lot with the main camera sensor, where I would see, yes, the zoom switching and performance on the Xiaomi 15 Pro is slightly better, but the Xiaomi 15 Pro in terms of video recording with the front-facing camera, especially in dim-lit situations, is like failing against the OnePlus 13. This is why I think it's good that they equal themselves out there. So the OnePlus 13 is above the Magic 6 Pro in this regard, and also above the iPhone 16 Pro. As you can see, the iPhone 16 Pro, even though I raised the points for the main camera sensor here, it's still falling behind the Mate 60 Pro that has like has not been updated with the newest HarmonyOS Next scoring yet. Maybe I will do it at one point there as well to see if there's something happening. Maybe it can climb as well. Some, especially video, might be getting up there. We have to see about this. But a major point is the weak ultra wide angle for the iPhone 16 Pro, which makes it like not the ideal solution for this kind of thing. The strongest point probably is the main camera and the video recording quality here on the iPhone. And yes, the front-facing camera is also pretty good, but the camera UI and extra features is something that is lacking a bit. And yes, some people are telling me you give too much points and credits to the camera UI and extra features. I will think about it, not this year anymore, but maybe next year, of revamping the scores for the camera UI and extra features, getting a little bit less here in terms of points and putting it more into main camera and zoom cam photo quality. Some want another category called portrait shots. This will be a bit hard to do because all of those phones that I tested, I don't have them anymore. I have some photos of them still to evaluate the portrait shooting mode. So I put portraits still in the zoom cam photo quality for now, and will mention that separately in my camera comparisons. But I like your comments, so if you have nice comments and suggestions on how to revamp this scoring board a little bit more without like doing everything completely new based upon what I have here right now, then write it down in the comment section as well, like how much points, percentages you would give to the camera UI and extra features. Would be quite of an interesting topic for sure. So what do you think about this one here? The winner for now is the OnePlus 13 here, falling slightly behind the Xiaomi 15 Pro, but still above the iPhone 16 Pro for sure. What do you think about this? Write it on the comment section. Until the next time, bye.